I'm standing on Kingston Bridge with the mighty River Thames behind me, and in my hand I'm holding a lottery ticket. This week, venues supported by the National Lottery are offering discounted or even free entry into their grounds, and so I've looked through the list to see what offers are available. I've picked out Painshill Park, owned by the National Trust. It looked interesting to wander around, so that's where I'm heading today. So I have to catch a bus to Painshill Park from Kingston, and it runs every hour. So given that I have a bit of time, I thought I would use Hampton Wick Station, cross over the Thames and walk through Kingston town rather than just use the station here. And by doing so, it allows me to see the very end of the Hogsmill River here, making its confluence with the Thames, which is the very beginning of a London Loop section from here to Hatton Cross. And I remember ending here as well on a walk from Banstead. I think I did two sections in one. That section itself starts at Ewell. This might actually be my favourite shot of the Hogsmill River, right near the end of its course, as it's passing underneath what is London's oldest bridge. It's known as Clatton Bridge. This sign here says it potentially dates from 1293. Obviously there's stuff like London Bridge, which is much older, but they've been rebuilt since. I like that this sign's actually old enough that it says it's one of the oldest bridges in Surrey, predating when Kingston became part of London. So across the road from Clatton Bridge, you have a coronation stone where Anglo-Saxon kings would have been coronated. You can see the names of some of them written around the stone here. So you have a King's Stone here. That obviously gives its name to Kingston, right? Well, as simple of an explanation as that would be, ton is an old word for settlement, so it's more referring to King's Settlement rather than King's Stone. Well, this is the iconic shot of Kingston, the red telephone boxes here in Old London Road. I remember being very surprised by these when I first came to Kingston on the 57 bus. Speaking of buses, I'm about to catch mine from the brand new Cromwell Road bus station here, which I've not been to since it's reopened. It's quite smart, I like it. I think it's better than the last one. It feels like it has more space. I have noticed though that on this 216 timetable they've spelt Sunbury wrong. Even though it's spelt right there at the station, they call it Sudbury Village, not Sunbury. I awaited my bus, which was the 715, which ran between Kingston and Guildford. Back in October on a Hampton Court walk, I came across a London bus stop where no London buses stop, one of them being the 715, and I did have the idea to ride the full route because I was quite surprised to find that a bus linked Kingston and Guildford, and I can infer from the route number, the 700 number, that this is probably an old Green Line route. The bus passes right back through Kingston town, which I just walked through, alongside Sandown Park Racecourse into Esher, where along here there's another National Trust property called Claremont Gardens, which I did consider going to instead today. The 715 drops you immediately outside the entrance to Painshill Park. As soon as you walk over to it, you're crossing over the River Mole, which runs into the Thames near to Hampton Court. Here we are, we've entered the grounds. Here's a map of it. I'm going to walk along the southern edge of the lake, near to the River Mole. And there's quite a few things I'm looking forward to seeing before we then come back along the northern edge later. It's already a gorgeous landscape to be walking through, with the lake here overlooking a vineyard over there. You can even see an old tower, which we're going to be up closer to later. Well, I thought it was a tower, but actually it seems to be a ruined abbey. That's very cool. Such a brilliant afternoon to be walking through here as well. The weather, temperature is amazing. I love a good walk beside water anyways, out in the sun. There's a Chinese bridge over there, which I'm currently doing work on. I don't know if maybe it's unstable or something. I can still head over to that little island though, which I think might be the highlight of Painshill Park. So this is Grotto Island. It looks like I can head down there beside the water. Oh wow, look at all this. It's like skulls. That's what it reminds me of, looking at all of this. Right, let's actually head in here. Wow, all the sound immediately just goes away. Oh wow, oh this is very cool. I can see why it's called Crystal Grotto. Oh, this absolutely does feel like it's a highlight. I'm really enjoying being in here. It's like a proper rock cave. Oh, this is very fascinating to explore. I feel like I'm just going to keep saying the same things. Wow, this is amazing. This is so cool. I love this experience. But, I mean, I think it's deserved. I thought that would be it in there. And then you come out into an even bigger part of it. And, again, my brain wants to say the same things of how cool this is. I feel like I might have peaked in my visit to Painshill Park already. I was going to leave this to the end. We've come to the end of our walk along the southern part of the lake, and it's looking like we're going to have a bit of an ascent up to the furthest reaches of the park. Whoa, I would not want that tree to fall right now. Oh wow, this is a very cool feature here. We have a water wheel right beside the waters of the River Mole itself. I do love a good water wheel. We've come across a couple of them on the River Wandle before in London. This one is far bigger than the others. Wow, they've done a fantastic job with restoring it. A lot of parts of Painshill Park was left ruined post-war. It's great to see the work they've done in bringing this park back to life. And I've made it up to the very edge of Painshill Park now, where there were some pylons and a great view look in that direction. But over here, you have a Gothic tower marking the very end of the park. I can hear road traffic on the other side. That would be the Portsmouth Road that the 715 bus takes, and on the other side of it there is a lot more kind of common land like this, which is open to the public, so it would be nice to walk through one day. I like the juxtaposition here with the Gothic tower and electricity pylon. You can climb the tower on certain days, certain times. Unfortunately not right now. That would have been cool to do. It would have given you great views in that direction, which you now can't see because I've started to descend. But if I've made it up to the Gothic tower, that means I start my loop back around on the northern side of the lake now. And there are still a few things to go and have a look at. This is one thing to look at on our route back to the exit. Temple here. I love seeing the difference between what it used to look like then when it was a ruin and then it was essentially completely reconstructed, and it's definitely done in the same style. It looks great. And who needs the view from the tower when I have the view here from the temple? Wow, there's the water wheel down there, so you can see how much of an ascent I've climbed. Another thing to see up on the high ridge of land is a Turkish tent here, which also provides fantastic views back across where we've walked down there by the lake. There's the bridge. I can even see a Gothic temple over there as well to go with the Gothic tower and the other temple we saw. There really is a lot to see here in Painshill Park. It was definitely worth a visit. Well, my time in Painshill Park has come to an end. I've got a nice lakeside walk again towards the exit now, looking over to the Crystal Grotto. It's quite strange to think that I was in the middle of all of that. You wouldn't think from this angle that you can go in there, but you can. Oh, I'm still discovering parts of Painshill Park here. In here, we have an old ice house. Walked up to it a second ago and this light turned on, the orange light. And it gave me quite a fright, to be honest, because I wasn't expecting it. I also got to give a moment of appreciation to this daffodil field here. I love daffodils. Perfect springtime view this is. I might be one of the last people in the park. It does close relatively soon. It's just a great peaceful walk back. What a nice little day out it's been. Well, I'm back beside the bus stop now after a delightful walk around Painshill Park. I was always quite interested in visiting that National Trust property because I knew how much there was in there, and it was great. I mean, Crystal Grotto alone was well worth it. That was fantastic to walk through. And so I'm just going to await the 715 now. Luckily I've made it. It's an hourly service. We're in a place called Cobham, and there is a Cobham and Stoke Dabenham station, which is an interesting name, but that is a while back that way. At least half an hour walk, quite far, so I'm going to stick with the bus. So the bus actually comes off of the main road around to serve the village of Cobham and Painshill Park, so I thought that was my bus. It isn't. I'll just wait for that to come back on the other side here. Aha, no, there's our one. Now, a return ticket to Painshill Park from Kingston was the same price as a day ticket across the whole route, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to actually ride the bus down to its terminus at Guildford, because that is something I said I was interested in doing, and then do the entire journey back to Kingston, which was about 20 miles, and it took an hour and 15 minutes.